Live from the campus of Washington and Lee University with news from Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Good morning and welcome to the Rockbridge Report Sports Edition. I'm Matt Gallagher. Later on the newscast, I'll be joined by Lindsay White and Andrew Arnold. Virginia Military Institute center Jake Stevens has grown into the Southern Conference's best basketball players over his 4 seasons at the school. He's looking to lead the Cadets to the Southern Conference Championship on March 7th in his final season in Lexington. Jack Hunter talked to Stevens.
Virginia Military Institute men's basketball coach Dan Earl has given Jake Stevens the keys to his high-powered offense. Stevens has known what to do with them. He's the leading scorer and the most efficient shooter for the Cadets, who have been one of the nation's top three-point shooting teams all season.
What's it like playing under Coach Earl and playing in that system where it just get to the three-point line and shoot?
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun. I mean, as a basketball player, there's not much better things to do than shoot and see the ball go in, and we do that at a pretty high rate. But the best thing about the system is he puts the ball in my hands a lot as a center, which is something you don't see a lot.
On offense, Stevens doesn't play off the ball like most centers. Instead, he prefers to make passes and shoot from the high post or the top of the key. He's been neck and neck for the team lead in assists with sophomore guard Trey Bonham all season.
Probably one of the more rewarding things is when you make a pass that somebody didn't see and they end up with an open shot.
Stevens has racked up multiple conference and national accolades this season. He won the Lou Henson National Player of the Week award in late December. He also won the Southern Conference Player of the Month in December. But Stevens' rise to stardom took time.
The one thing I've really worked on developing is in the low post. Coming into college, it wasn't something I was great at, and it didn't have great footwork. So, just being more comfortable down there has been a huge development of mine.
Stevens has also grown into one of the conference's best defenders. He averages over 2 blocks a game and has learned to stay out of foul trouble.
Being in foul trouble, you're just in the wrong position, you're a step slow, and that used to happen a lot earlier in my career, and now it's just, not because I like to joke with the coaches that I probably block the most shots, like per inch vertical, because, I don't leave the ground too much, but that just comes with being a step ahead, using your smarts. Me and Coach Earl talk about this all the time, using your smarts more than anything else, because that's, I can't beat you with my speed or athleticism, so I have to be a step ahead mentally.
Stevens will be the first to admit that there's a secret that's not so secret to his success. He was listed at 6'8" his freshman year. He's grown an inch every year since. He now stands at 6'11".
Are you going to be standing at 7 feet next year?
I mean, I'm stretching every night, hanging upside down, trying to do my best to get there. I don't think that will hurt anything at all.
How has that size helped your game as you've progressed through your career?
It's been huge. I mean, there's no secret about it. I've been lucky, in different ways, but that's been probably my biggest one is just been able to grow into my body a little bit more. It certainly helps. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the best athlete or whatever. Being tall definitely helps, and having long arms and stuff like that. So I'm fortunate to have that.
VMI's strong conference play has landed them in the top half of the Southern Conference standings as they enter the last week of the regular season. But Stevens says the conference is too good for the team to ease up.
There's no off nights. I mean, to be honest, you come in and if you're playing the 10th seed, they can just as easily beat the 1 seed. I mean, it doesn't, there's not a pushover game by any means. I think it used to be us. We used to be everybody's pushover game, but we're not anymore, and I like to take some pride in that.
VMI has struggled to win games on the road during Stevens' career. The Cadets played 2 out of their 3 remaining games away before heading to the conference tournament in Asheville, North Carolina during the first weekend of March.
Winning on the road is something mature teams do, and you see the first couple of years here, we probably won, I can count how many wins on a single hand, how many we had on the road. And, this year we've already done better. I mean, obviously you want to win every game on the road, but, we realize that that's not possible in the Southern Conference because there's a high level of play. But we realize that the more mature we get, the better we'll be.
VMI went a combined 20-45 in Stevens' first 2 seasons before reaching the conference semifinals last season. Stevens says the team has one goal, and that's winning their first conference championship and earning their first NCAA tournament berth since 1977.
We told ourselves in the summer that this is what we were working for. We weren't necessarily too worried about November, December. We're playing for March and on.
The Cadets trekked down to Birmingham but suffered a heartbreaking overtime loss last night to the Sanford Bulldogs by a final score of 100-99. But a bright spot in that game was Jake Stevens, who poured in a career-high 39 points, including hitting 7 out of his 8 three-pointers in just his first game after being named SoCon Player of the Week for the 4th time this season. The Cadets will look to bounce back tomorrow as they head to Chattanooga to face the conference's top-ranked team. Reporting outside of Cameron Hall, I'm Jack Hunter with the Rockbridge Report.
Thanks, Jack. And now to a story about a Washington and Lee senior who is making a difference in the local swim community. Senior Elle Boyd is a math and economics major, Middle East and South Asia Studies minor, and the head coach of the Rockbridge County High School swim team. Jack Douglas talked to her.
This is the Rockbridge Aquatics Center, home to the Rockbridge County High School Wildcats swim team. It's where Washington and Lee University senior Elle Boyd is training postseason contenders.
I kind of use it as motivation. I know every day I have to go in the afternoons and evenings and coach, and so that kind of allows me to set deadlines for myself. I need to get my work done, either before our practice times, or I need to come home and work after that. And so also being, a competitive swimmer in high school, I kind of was used to having to balance like swimming and school. So I think that's kind of carried over now that I've transitioned to a coach.
The girls' team earned second place at the 3C Regionals in Charlottesville on Wednesday, February 9th. All 3 girls' team relays and 6 swimmers in the individual category made the state cut, held on February 19th. On the boys' side, 2 relay teams and 2 swimmers in the individual category advanced to state. Boyd said that most of the team's swimmers achieved their best times at the meet.
It's very exciting. They put in a lot of hard work at practice, and when writing practices, I try to tailor it to each swimmer, which can be kind of impossible sometimes.
Yes.
But yeah, they've put in the work, have the goals, and so I'm proud to be their coach.
But getting there wasn't normal. This season's District Valley meet wasn't in person. It was supposed to be held at Bridgewater College, but a shooting on the school's campus on February 1st left 2 campus police officers dead and forced the cancellation of the postseason event.
The first date that we had got postponed because of the winter weather, and then we were supposed to compete on February 1st, but about 2 hours before we were supposed to leave for Bridgewater College, we got the news about the tragic shooting there, and so the meet was postponed again. And then after kind of searching for different venues and dates, the meet host decided to cancel the in-person meet and do what's called a paper meet.
Boyd said a paper meet means that swimmers with the best times during the season were chosen to advance to regionals in Charlottesville. The paper meet ended some swimmers' seasons, but most of Boyd's team advanced.
It was amazing to see the swimmers get out there. They didn't get to swim at district, so I think they had a lot of drive and motivation going forward at regionals, not only with their own individual goals, but also team goals. And so the girls managed to place second overall, and we ended up with 12 qualifiers for state.
Boyd's been a swim coach since she was 15, when she started working as an assistant in a summer league in Alice, Texas, about an hour away from her hometown. Her sophomore year at W&L, she noticed an ad for a coach for a local swim club, Rockbridge Storm. It didn't take long for Rockbridge High School swim coach Leslie Ayers to notice her. Boyd served as an assistant for 1 season for the Wildcats before becoming the team's head coach.
After graduation in May, Boyd is off to New York, where she'll be working for J.P. Morgan as a credit research analyst. Next for the Wildcats swim team is state, held on February 19th, this Saturday in Richmond, Virginia. With the Rockbridge Report Sports Edition, I'm Jack Douglas.
The high school's athletic department is looking for a head coach to replace Boyd next season. Coming up next on the Rockbridge Report Sports Edition, a VMI lacrosse player didn't choose to attend the school just for the sports. We'll tell you about his other reasons to attend the military school.
Take camera 2.
Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report Sports Edition. I'm Lindsay White.
And camera 3.
The Washington and Lee men's soccer team made a run at a national championship last fall, only to fall short. Junior Sam Bass was a key piece in the team's success. Matt Gallagher talked to him and has the story.
The Washington and Lee men's soccer team had their best season in school history last fall. They are ranked number 1 for the first time in program history. Junior midfielder Sam Bass credits head coach Mike Singleton with creating the team's chemistry.
The coach has created the past 8 years being here. He's brought a new sense of direction within the team, and I think the players just care a lot more, and we all have really just bought into what he's trying to get us to do, which has allowed us to be extremely successful.
Bass says Coach Singleton puts the team in position to succeed by relying on the players' skills and athleticism.
We play 4-3-3, and Coach loves to press fast and get us on the front foot. You know, we try to initialize our press right when they get outside the box. That's allowed us to create so many dangerous opportunities, winning the ball up at a higher area of the field.
The team had a record of 13-0-2, which made them more confident than they should have been. They underestimated the stiff competition in the ODAC tournament held at WNL in late October and early November.
Yes, we squeaked by Hampton-Sydney in the first round of the ODAC tournament. We were then set to match up against Randolph College, and we kind of overlooked them a little bit and started focusing on Lynchburg, who would be the potential final matchup that we play.
Randolph beat WNL with penalty kicks that knocked the team back to reality.
Yeah, you know, it took us off our high horse and made us realize that in the NCAA tournament, you can't look over at any team, because if you do, you'll be watching from home.
The NCAA tournament requires stamina. Teams play games on consecutive days if they advance. They then get a week off between sets of games.
You know, I really learned a lot from the tournament wins, and obviously we're disappointed about the outcome, but we will be back.
Bass was named first team All-ODAC and second team All-American. This summer, he says he'll keep working on his game by competing in the United Soccer League II division, a competitive league for Division I and Division III players.
Definitely more dynamic, being able to play better with both feet, and then also on the defensive side, just being a little bit more physical. You know, I'm trying to put some more strength on my body, and also just try and bully some kids around.
Bass says next year's team has a lot of work ahead of them to make up for the seniors they're losing to graduation.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think in terms of the mesh, it'll be weird not having, I guess, them around, because they're so prominent in our team. At least for me, you know, being a junior now on the team, I've been around them a lot. But in terms of like the mesh and the culture, I mean, the guys already on the team, we get along great. It's just a matter of bringing in the freshmen, getting them to buy into our system, and really just creating relationships with them. So I don't think it'll take too long.
The team plans on putting together a strong 2022 campaign in the fall. They came so close last year and won another shot at the national championship. For the Rockbridge Report Sports Edition, I'm Matt Gallagher.
Right now, the team has captains practice twice a week. The team captains design and run practices for the players to continue to develop their skills in the off-season. Now to a story about Scout Ripley, a VMI lacrosse player. Ripley is a junior who has strong ties to the armed forces. I was able to sit down with Ripley and hear more about what VMI lacrosse and the military means to him.
Scout Ripley did not come to Virginia Military Institute just to play Division I lacrosse. He saw an opportunity to pursue a passion that runs deep in his family.
And I also have a legacy of going into the military in my family. And so coming here to play lacrosse was the best of both worlds. You know, I got to build a program here on the lacrosse team and also pursue a passion of, you know, joining the armed forces. So.
From a young age, Ripley understood what military life was like. His grandfather, John Walter Ripley, was a decorated United States Marine Corps colonel who received the Navy Cross in the Vietnam War. The Navy Cross is given to sailors or Marines for extraordinary heroism in combat. Captain Ripley was awarded with the Navy Cross after taking hours of enemy fire as he prepared to blow up a bridge in Dong Ha to keep the Viet Cong from swamping American troops' position.
My grandfather, he went to the Naval Academy and then served in the Vietnam War and did pretty spectacular things there. And, you know, growing up, like, I'd always been surrounded by, you know, the service and meeting a bunch of my grandfather's friends, and my dad was in the Marine Corps, so I was always kind of surrounded by it.
But Ripley says he never felt pressured to follow in their footsteps. He says he realized on his own that the military was as important to him as it was to his father and grandfather.
I was never, like, you know, forced to do anything or pursue anything that I didn't want to, and so, you know, kind of through high school, I was just figuring out what I wanted to do, and just being surrounded by the military was something that I saw that I wanted to pursue.
Ripley's knowledge of the armed forces prepared him for the rigors of a military school. When he arrived at VMI in 2019, he had to face the demands of what's known as the rat line. All first-year students at VMI are referred to as RATs while they go through months of military training and preparation to officially become cadets. Even after they break out of the RAT line, cadets face demands that other college students do not. They must adhere to strict rules and regulations, learn about weapons, and keep their grades up.
I think coming in, I was definitely prepared. Just being an athlete really prepares you for the RAT line and all the activities that you're going to have to do here as a cadet. And then, pairing that up with just how I was raised, I think I came in pretty prepared. And I think one of the hardest challenges here, though, is managing the school workload and then also the VMI workload along with being an athlete here.
Students who attend VMI have the option to go into the military, unlike the military academies where they must join the armed forces. Ripley plans to carry on his family's legacy and join the Marine Corps. Cadets who are athletes must focus on their schoolwork, their military training, and their sport.
For us, we're waking up earlier. We have lifts in the morning, sometimes starting at 6 a.m., and then have practice in the afternoon at 4. So it's pretty difficult. And then after practice, you go and study. So I would say, both are hard in their different ways.
Ripley's demanding schedule hasn't kept him from succeeding on the lacrosse field.
Just staying focused. I had a great group of guys around me on the team that pushed me every day to become better. And also the coaching staff, my offensive coordinator, Mikey Herring, he was instrumental in my progress throughout my third class year, showing me different kind of moves I could take, and then, just staying focused and keep my eye on the prize and keep grinding and helping my team.
Ripley is excited about his team's potential this year.
I think we're bringing a lot of veteran firepower on the offensive end. We got a great class of freshmen coming in, and we're really looking forward to putting our name on this season. Last season was good stepping stone for a lot of young guys, but now coming up, we have another year of experience, and the Rats that we have now are just gaining more and more experience.
Ripley has scored 7 goals in their first 2 games and wants to help push the team forward for the remainder of the season. And coming up after the break, this WNL athlete has 2 passions, wrestling and music. We'll tell you more about his journeys in both. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. I'm Andrew Arnold. The Washington and Lee women's basketball team will enter the ODAC tournament as the top seed. Emma Smith spoke with senior guard Kate Groninger about the team and its success this season.
Washington and Lee women's basketball team has had a record-breaking season. With an 18-5 record, the women are on track to have the best season in school history. But they know that anything can happen during tournament play.
Everybody is going to be at their best in the tournament, and that's what makes it so fun. Just really on any given day, any team can perform to their best capabilities, and so we need to make sure that we're doing that too, and that we just all really trust in each other, and if we do that, then we'll be good.
The team's first in-conference loss was at Randolph College in Lynchburg on February 2nd. At the time, it ended WNL's 9-game winning streak. Groninger says the team hasn't forgotten the game. They're using it to motivate players heading into the playoff.
Obviously, you never want to lose, but that was beneficial to us because it lifted off some of the stress of having a perfect season, and we now have this chip on our shoulder where we're okay, we need to show up and we still have something to prove.
Groninger says Roanoke, Randolph, and Randolph-Macon are their toughest competition. The women lost on Wednesday night to Roanoke College, 84-66.
For any team in the ODAC, if it's on a good day, you better make sure that you're bringing your best competition as well.
Even with the loss to Roanoke, the WNL women have a target on them.
Other teams are looking at us, and we're going to get everybody's best competition.
Last season, the WNL women played only 8 games because of COVID-19 restrictions.
Just after the season that was last year, we had to kind of relearn how to play with all of each other and just get the chemistry back up to the really good place where it is now. And this season, we've had multiple 3-game weeks, so that's just been challenging on all of our endurance and our bodies, but we've handled that pretty well.
Groninger holds the second highest three-point shooting percentage in program history. She wants to break her own record.
Anybody can score, really, so it's looking not necessarily for like the first opening that you get, but just moving the ball around a bit and getting a great look. Being a shooter, you just kind of have to, like, you know, if you're having an off day, just realize that you need to keep shooting because the next one could very well go in, and with all of the hard work that we do, you kind of expect that to happen. So just keep shooting and kind of dig through any ruts that you may get in.
Groninger believes that if the team plays at their best, they will win an ODAC championship. The ODAC tournament will begin on February 25th at the Salem Civic Center. The team will have a first-round bye. For the Rockbridge Report Sports Edition, I'm Emma Smith.
The WNL women will play their last regular season conference game tomorrow against Eastern Mennonite. The Washington and Lee wrestling team is having another successful season with an 11-5 record. Senior Ryan Luth is a major reason why, but Luth has other talents besides wrestling. Ian Darney has the story.
Ryan Luth is one of the nation's top wrestlers in the 157-pound weight class. But wrestling is not his only passion. The Division III first-team All-American is also a popular rapper who makes music under the name That Kid RYN. Creating music provides Luth with an outlet to be creative and express himself.
I think I get to tell stories and share ideas that I typically don't. I've always had a love for writing and reading and things that revolve around storytelling, and so I think that with music I just get to create something that I like to listen to, and then it makes me feel a certain way, and I just hope it does the same for other people. I'll also say it's cool when people know like songs, you know, and just seeing people enjoy themselves to a song of mine is cool.
Luth's 25-1 as wrestler so far this season. He just finished first place at the Centennial Conference Individual Championships last weekend. And as That Kid RYN, he has over 10,000 streams on Spotify alone. His music is particularly popular on Washington and Lee's campus. It's common for him to hear other students enjoying his songs.
I remember sophomore year I was in my room doing homework and I heard someone playing it outside at something and I was like, oh, that's my song.
Luth has also performed on stage. Last spring, he headlined the annual fraternity party known as Bahamas. Luth says he gets the same kind of butterflies before a concert as he does before wrestling matches.
So my first concert was probably the most nervous I've been, but you get the same nerves right before, but then once you start, it all just goes away, and you're just like, I know what I'm doing, and the gears turn and it just starts going.
Luth likes to listen to music before matches. He listens to some of his stuff, mostly unreleased songs, but he mostly prefers other artists' work.
I have a playlist, and it's songs that do the work of calming me down before a match, but also keep me engaged and kind of excited for it. I don't want to go in heart beating too fast, like stressed out at all, so I try to keep it level.
Luth says finding time to satisfy both of his passions can be tricky, but right now, with the season in full swing, he's more focused on wrestling.
I'm trying to be a national champion this year. I've been thinking about it for a while now, so I'm hoping that, this year I get the chance to go and do what I know I can do.
The NCAA Southeast Regional Tournament begins February 25th. If Luth performs well, he'll advance to the NCAA Championships in early March and get a shot at becoming a national champion. With the Rockbridge Report Sports Edition, I'm Ian Dardney.
The wrestling team has a tournament in Allentown, Pennsylvania on Sunday. That's all for today's Rockbridge Report Sports Edition. You can find more sports stories on our website, rockbridgereport.wlu.edu. Thanks for joining us.